Hello, I'm Noel, and in the next few seconds, I will show you exactly why you need a case management system that allows you to have a bird view as partners in a law firm on every single thing that is going on, from acquisition of clients or prospects to management of the client's case to the checklist or the list of processes for different type of case at the firm. So please stay with me. First, we'll be starting with the part of this system on Asana. This system is created under Asana and customized to the operations of the law firms. And I've categorized different cases that are being managed by firms like yours under civil litigation, corporate law, real estate, criminal law, family law, and firms operation. And there can be a lot more and a lot more portfolios. What do we have inside these portfolios? Inside the corporate law, we know we have different types of corporate laws and corporate law cases, and that includes contracts law, mergers and acquisition, and more. And also under the civil litigation, we can also find general civil duty disputes and commercial litigation. So I'm going to show you how one of these works. So with civil litigation, we are going to go into the commercial litigation. As you can see, there are different sections, including the onboarding of a case when a client is acquired, discovery and hearing proceedings, judgment, settlement, closure and billing, archives. So these are different stages that most commercial litigations move through to actually get a particular case managed. If we go to other parts of, let's say, example for M&A, we can see that it's a little bit different. In M&A, we have onboarding, due diligence, documentation, regulatory closure, and billing, and also the checklist that is used in management of case under this part is quite different when compared to civil litigation or commercial litigation under civil litigation. Now, for us to begin, how do we actually kick off a case? And I will show you that in a second. We can start by doing that by receiving um, case briefing from a prospect client, or probably you've had a physical meeting with your client and you want a structural way to enter every single information or detail. This can be done by the client or probably by an associate or by any of the partners bringing in the client. And this means you get the client's name, the client's contact person, the opposing party, the type of client, whether an individual, government, corporate, other than out supporting documents. And let's put up a document for this case. And this form can be customized to the structure of any other case type that or matter that needs to be managed. So let's submit this, and in few seconds these will appear right here on the onboarding stage. A and D Benson codes submit litigation case. And as you can see, this has been automated using the name and customized automatically with the name of the case, which is a corporate metro construction group versus the prime development partners limited. And this case number, we can also put at the case number, let's say ABN 2025 LC 210. Probably this is the case number, right? And then we also have an internal one to track that. And after the research, we can also come up and say the dispute value for this particular matter is probably over $1.5 million. Or you can also put that in whatever currency that pleases you. So we do this after the research, and we have all the information of the client that needs to be reached out. It sets this case to corporate type, and this can be updated if need be. And also there is court date, there is the tribunal, whether this will be headed to the high court or it will end in just arbitration, the opposing party, and the partners, the associate, and the paralegal. and also the settlement potential why the case is going on. Now we have case detail. So we want to be able to add the detail for this case, and let's do that in a second. So great. So let's put the case detail. And with this case detail, I get to see every single information I need to know about this case. Let's use the number. Great. So we've from the date of intake to brief case description to key date and deadline known and the opponent information. So these are the persons that needs to be contacted at the other side. And there's something interesting about this. Under the reference, you can see that we have a few list of SOPs. This can get as long as possible, and this is very very helpful for anyone working on the case. Maybe they needed to understand the procedures that is followed by your firm in order to research a client, gather evidence or gather client information, and you have a process you think works over and over again. That can be documented, and this is a hyperlink. This leads to another file on this place, and we can quickly get to see what, okay, this is the description, this is the procedure, and these are important links. We can add videos or whatever, and we can make as much list as possible, and this can automatically be linked to whatever case that is being worked on. So you have your SOP documented on each case automatically, and then you can follow through with that. The document you've uploaded, let's say the SLA for this company and the agreements they had, and more of that has been added. So we are kicking off with subtask under the onboarding for getting this case kicked off, and we want to check for conflicts. And if you see, this will get unlocked because this conflict, the retainer signed, is dependent on conflict check. Therefore, we want to get conflict check done first. And again, you can see the date here. This can be changed, this can be automated, so that whenever it's created, it should start 2 days before this or 3 days before retainer, or you should be due in this particular time. You can also assign someone to that. And like I mentioned, I can make so let me say this was brought in by one of the big partners at the firm. We can put that person as the name here. We can also add that same partner here. We can add an associate on this place, and we can add also a paralegal for half for this, and we can put a due date or at least an estimate, whatever we want. We can always set this up based on how we want this to work. So if you can see closely on this on this part of the system, there is a diamond shape, and that is known as milestone. So for every section or the stage of this case, we have milestones that we want to complete, and this is client file open. So we've actually completed this. Now we can move to the next stage by selecting this and clicking on discovery. So now we want to get to the discovery, and also we'll get a list. This list can be customized. Again, this list is sort of our subtask for each stage. And in this, under discovery and hearing preparation, we have the evidence gathering, we have witness prep, we have legal research, we have pleadings drafted, and this milestone has also been achieved. And next is the proceeding, so we can get to the next stage, which is the proceeding. And under this part, we have file or petition to file petition or serve the opposing party, hearing scheduled, prep trial bundle or track court deadlines. Again, this can always be customized to the way your law firms manages each case. Next, we are the judgment slash settlement, and at this stage we have settlement negotiation, judgment delivered, and we are about to notify client. Something interesting is that we can automate a lot of processes from here. We can also put the full billable hours for this particular case. So we can always add how many hours this is taking us if we bill our clients on hours, based on hours. So this gives us a proper view on how long we spent or whatever way we use in quantifying the cost for a case. We can always put that so that when we get to closure and billing, we can draft an invoice. So these are the checklists we need to complete. And also we can connect other external tools. If you are making use of Quotient or any invoicing platform that can be connected to this system, and at this stage you can send automated emails from here with their invoice to the client for them to clear. And once that is taken care of, this case can be moved to completed, and we have previous cases that has been worked on, and they are the list, or they are in our archive, so we can always come back to these previously, and we can see every single activity that was performed on this case and who did that. So nothing is literally hidden. You know exactly who moved what, who removed what. You can figure out what the associates are doing. And for different case type, we have different lists that need to be met. So every case type has their structure. Example, on this part we have to check NDA execution. If we are the other stage less on due diligence, it's a little bit different than what we just saw right now. At commercial litigation, we have financial record review, legal due diligence, regulatory compliance check, risk assessment report. That's a little bit different. So for every structure, we can have all our case in these categories, and we'll be able to see what is going on. Now look at the beautiful part. You can tie this back to the company's goal. And what do I mean by that? So if we go under the plan here, we can see goals. So as a law firm, we have the goal we want to hit for a year, for a quarter, and that could be $300 million probably in revenue, or whatever ways we're using quantifying our goals. And for us to do that, it means we want to close top 5 corporate clients, or we want to hire 10 associates from Ivy League colleges. And to hire 10 Ivy League college, that means we need to contact maybe double of that number, or 90% of that number, probably contact more colleges, Ivy League agents, or whoever that will help us in order to reach out to students and let them know we have openings at our law firms, and we want to do that. And with this, we can always see what's going on, at what percent are we at for this particular goal at this particular time. What's the bottleneck? Is any of these goals at risk? It could be partial, it could be completed, and so forth and so on. So this gives a bird view for every single thing that is going on. We can always tie this back to different projects at the firm, and to different projects or cases or tasks that we've created on Asana, based on how your firm functions. So this is really great for the partners to know exactly what's going on. And talking about knowing what's going on, we can head back to the commercial litigation, and we can take a look at the dashboard. So for this particular case, we can also change the names, completed cases, name them terms that suit what we're doing, and customize those following. We'll be able to see how many cases are completed, or tasks or checklists are completed over time. Do we have anything that is lagging? The partners can always see every single thing that is going on. Something else, oh great, I want to see the workload for civil litigation case. So I know we have some persons working on this case or heading the, but I want to be able to see what's the workload. And probably you can see between 25th and 26th of the date, you can see that Emmanuel has the highest workload compared to Favor. On 28th they have less workload. So we can always use this to manage the workloads on the members of the firm, or the team members working at the firm. So this gives you a holistic view of everything going on, and you can integrate any other platform that you work with and automate a lot of processes. And we know that with this, there will be no one at the firm that says, oh great, we missed this process. Okay, I want to make reference, we want to reopen this case, and some files are missing, or whatever procedure that was taken was missing. That does not happen here, because every single thing is backed up, and every single thing can be tracked. Every single activity that was performed by every associate paralegal partners can be tracked here by the management of the firm. And I know you're already thinking about how can this fit into our structure, and I'm really open and looking forward to hearing from you on the next step, and for us to start designing case systems or the management system that fit into the structure of the way the firm operates. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this.